Jasmine and Rose. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I hope you can hear me clearly. Just a quick introduction before I get to making my presentation, and I wouldn't say making a presentation to you, but probably sharing with you and chatting with you and sharing some ideas with you. One thing which I want to be very clear about today is we are talking about financial fraud. And for a long time, financial fraud was connected with cybercrime. But you have to remember that these guys who are conducting the cybercrimes are smart. And as more and more people became aware of cybercrime and more, you would say, policies in place which, made cybercrime a little more difficult, these guys have now moved offline. And only yesterday I was reading very interesting, it's a news item, and I couldn't share the link because it was a paid item, but it was about an app, an EdTech app. It's actually quite a decent name. It was run by Chinese, and they use an offline and online medium to scam people and scam 82 crores out of Indians last month only last month. So scamsters are smart. They're moving from the online mode to the offline mode and to a mode which is hybrid, online and offline. And we need to, be smart on all these three fronts, smarter than them, if we have to protect ourselves. Please remember that they are trying to invent ideas every day to scam you. And at some point or the other, I think you will find that people more or less will get scammed, right? I think in all honesty, if you ask people, I would say about 75 to 80% of the people would have got scammed some way or the other, either online or offline, but you would have got scammed. A lot of people don't like admitting it, and that's life. But so what I'm going to do today is take you to three parts of my presentation. One will be what is the way you can protect yourself from offline scams, what are the kind of scams and how you can protect yourself. Then we'll move to the hybrid mode and see what's happening on the hybrid mode, and then move to the the cybercrime mode, the online kind of scamming, which I think most of you will have some kind of resource and knowledge by now. So I'm going to take the liberty of starting with offline and then ending with the online kind of scams, and then we'll take questions after that. Yeah. So even though it's titled online financial frauds, we're going to look at online, offline, whatever. So offline financial frauds today happen in various ways. And I'm just putting down some of these ways, and I'll give you a few examples, right? One of the latest trends, especially among the young adults, which I think most of you are, is to buy electronic gold. E-gold is something which is picking up, and a lot of people are saying, buy e-gold, it's available. You can, with 10 rupees, you can buy e-gold, with 15 rupees, 20 rupees, you can buy. Well, that's all good. But my advice to you here is, please, if you're buying electronic gold, only buy it through the stock exchange. And when you buy it through a stock exchange, I'm not going to get into the technicalities. It's called an exchange traded fund. Forget what it means. If you want, I can answer that separately some other time. But the most popular e-gold unit on the stock exchange is called Gold Bees. And you will find that electronic gold on the stock exchange trades about 10% cheaper than what you could buy physical gold. And 1 unit of e-gold is 0.001 gram, which means today, if you have about 52 rupees, you can buy 1 electronic gold unit. So you don't need a large amount of money to invest into electronic gold on the stock market. But however, please be very careful, even when buying what they call e-gold on the UPI or payment apps. Like, you could buy gold on Paytm, you could buy gold on Amazon Pay. Now, what is the difference between e-gold on the stock exchange and e-gold with Paytm and Amazon Pay? When you buy gold, electronic gold on the stock exchange, Every day, the electronic gold, which is bought cumulatively by everyone in India, that amount of gold is physically bought by the company which is doing this electronic gold transaction and stored in a third-party custodian. So it is stored physically in a custodian who is monitored by SEBI, and they are a third party, unrelated. So if anything happens to the company, this custodian will sell the gold and you will get your money back. But no one knows whether the Paytms, the Amazons, whoever, even the big names, whether the e-gold which they are selling, saying invest 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 30 rupees, whether they are physically backing it up with physical gold and whether they have a custodian. No one is monitoring that. So my worry is that tomorrow, if anything goes wrong to even these big brands, you may not get your money back. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm not saying they're not doing it, but there is no checks and balances. So we be very careful with e-gold. It could be, a big bottle of, a big scam waiting to explode at some point or the other. So be a little careful with that. One of the latest ways of getting cheated is Forex trading. And you will find that the number of scamsters, especially in cities, the major cities, and I'm seeing it more and more in Chennai now, coming and promising you give me 1 lakh. And I think that was in your video. You guys brought out a cool, nice video where you give me 1 lakh and within 6 months, I will give you 2 lakhs. And within 1 year, it will become 4 lakhs, right? Those kind of schemes are too good to be true. If anything is too good to be true, it's not true. So you get guys saying, give me money, I will invest it in Forex and I will double your money in 6 months, 1 year. And what they do is when you give them 1 lakh, I'll tell you a true story. I have a client who was in Dubai. So there's this lady who sits in Chennai. He sits in Dubai. So she went to Dubai, did this roadshow and got people to invest, promising exorbitant returns. So he invested 10 lakhs. Now for him, 10 lakhs is not too big, but it's, sizable. So he invests 10 lakhs into this Forex trading, platform. I wouldn't say platform, this Forex trading person or this company. So the first month he gets 1 lakh. The second month he gets 2 lakhs. Now within 2 months, he's got 3 lakhs. So he's calculating saying, hey, if I grow like this, I will double my money. So he called me and said, hey, you know what, this is the best investment I have. I'm going to put more money in. And I warned him, but he didn't take me seriously. And he actually put in 90 lakhs more. He didn't tell anyone. About 6 to 7 months later, I'd gone to Dubai and I went to meet him. And when I was sitting across, he said, hey, Glenn, I have a confession to make. I invested a further 90 lakhs to this Forex trading. And like you said, after the third month, I didn't get anything back. 1 crore is gone. They couldn't trace her. They couldn't trace her. Where she is, no one knows. And like him, so many people have lost money. So be careful with anyone promising you money out of Forex trading. You can trade Forex, again, through legitimate stock exchanges or Forex exchanges. You can buy and sell it by yourself. That is not illegal or unregulated. But giving it to someone to manage and promising exorbitant returns, you are not going to get your money back. Right? The third thing, monthly gold schemes, right? A lot of us love this. Whenever we go to buy jewelry, especially the ladies here, I'm sure you'd love this monthly gold scheme where they tell you, pay 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 rupees. And after 3 years, you'll get a beautiful diamond necklace and, bangle. And all of you, those who are married here, will convince your husbands to take that. And, the scheme goes on. But please remember, this is unregulated. And I don't know how many of you know that in the last 3 or 4 years, there are a number of jewelry companies which have defaulted. To name some, Natala Sambat Jewelers, Atlas Jewelers, a big firm in Bangalore called IMA, right? All of them have defaulted. Geetanjali Gems and Jewelers, Nirav Modi's company, right? All of them have defaulted. And what I'm trying to tell you is that we think these monthly gold schemes are safe, right? So some big names might be safe, but how long will it be safe? We don't know. But one thing is, it's unregulated, right? Then cryptos. We all know that cryptos made us good money at some point of time, right? I've invested in cryptos. I made my money, not big money. We invested small. I just wanted to experiment, made some small money. Many of you would have invested, made money, many lost money, but it's something which the young people like because it moves like crazy every day. But please remember that cryptos are unregulated. Just recently, we heard the story of the second biggest crypto exchange in the world going bankrupt. And everyone, what he did basically was, when you and me buy crypto, see, crypto is a digital currency, right? If I gave you physical currency, you will take it and put it in your purse. Now, if I give you digital currency, you need a digital wallet. Now, most of us can have a digital wallet on our own, laptop or system, but we know it's not safe, it's not secure. So we prefer it to keep it in a locker kind of system. See, if we have a lot of gold, we don't keep it in our cupboard at home. We go and keep it in a locker with the bank. Now, similarly, when you have a lot of cryptos, people say, okay, I don't want to keep it in my digital wallet. I will keep it in the digital wallet of the broker because that's like a locker. It's more secure. Now, the second largest broker in the world, what he did, he bought everyone and pledged it with the bank and raised a lot of money. And once he raised lots of money, he started another company and he founded his own crypto and from the bank to buy that crypto. And that crypto price up and up and up. And he was selling and buying himself islands, cars, all the world. Cryptocurrency belongs to him. And his name is Bankman Fried. And 23 years or 20 years. And then they said, how did he get so much money to buy this? And he had taken loans. And then they said, what was the collateral? It was the client's securities. So the bank stopped giving them loans. When the bank stopped giving him loans, he couldn't borrow money up. So this crypto crashing down. When it came crashing down, he was losing money. And when he started losing money, he didn't have enough of money to pay back the people who bought cryptos through him. And this is the second largest exchange in the world. So be very careful when you deal with cryptos. Many people still say Bitcoin will go to $1 lakh, right? The greatest investor in the world, Warren Buffett, says, you give me all the cryptos in the world, I will give you $10. We don't know. But if you want to dabble in it, small numbers, and if you lose everything, you shouldn't lose sleep. So be careful about cryptos. Another very dangerous, going around today, I see it a lot on Instagram, is that, the deposit schemes of companies which are not banks or NBFCs. Very interestingly, recently I've been seeing this. You'll have an app and you'll say pay 50, 500, get 5,000. Well, all these are frauds. You won't get your money back. Whenever you deposit any money into any scheme, please ensure that they are regulated by RBI, that they are a regulated bank or they are regulated NBFC. There are a lot of very, very big names, right? I think there are a few Malayalis here in the group. And if you know, a few years back, a very popular, and I'm sorry to use the word popular because the company's name is Popular. Popular Finance in Kochi defaulted many hundred crores. I think nearly about 1,000 crores they defaulted. And most of them very sadly were pensioners. So be very careful where you go and put your money. Anyone offering you returns of more than 10% on a fixed deposit means that they are desperate and it could be a fraud. Multi-level marketing is the next big danger. A lot of people are losing money, right? You have the greatest Amway, the multi-level marketer, who's now changing because they realize multi-level marketing is getting into problem. And timeshare also is something dangerous, except for a few like, the Mahindra Holidays or Sterling. Otherwise, it's fine. Another one thing which I didn't put down, but want to tell you, chit funds. Chit funds, please remember, it's partly regulated. It's supposed to be regulated by the state government, but the state government doesn't have the time or the manpower to do it. So a lot of small chit fund companies cheat you. I think it was December last year, where there was this news item which, really got me amused. It was about a chit fund who collected about 6 crores of rupees and the guy disappeared. And I'll tell you why it was amusing. They found him. And I think Meghalaya or Manipur, living a good life. He spent half the money. They caught him, brought him back. And you know what he was doing? He was a guy who sold tender coconuts on the road. And he started a chit fund and people gave him 6 crores. That's a true story. So we can get cheated very easily by people promising us big returns. I want to tell you something. The greatest investor in the world, Warren Buffett, makes between 16 to 20% per annum. If he is making 16 to 20%, you and me cannot expect to make more than that. We should be happy with 10 to 12 to 13%. If we get 15%, excellent. But you have to get it through regulated means. Now, let me very quickly tell you the advantage of investing in regulated schemes. When you invest in a regulated scheme, you have a regulator like SEBI, like RBI, like IRDA, there to protect you. So if there is any default, if there's fraud, they will to the best effort protect you. Many of you know that today, if you put your money in a bank, in any bank which is regulated by RBI, have an insurance 5 lakhs per FD. So if the bank defaults, the insurance will pay you back, the government insurance will pay you back 5 lakhs per FD. Now you say 5 lakhs is too less. Well, if you have 20 lakhs, all you need to do is divide it among 4 people in your family. And you can do multiple. Example, I can do 5 lakhs in my name. I can do 5 lakhs in my daughter's name. I can do 5 lakhs in my wife's name. And then I can do 5 lakhs with me as the first holder, my wife as the second holder. And I can do 5 me as the first holder, my daughter as the second holder, so on and so forth. So I can maximize my protection. So if at all you're tempted to go and put money into some small bank, like Equitas or Ujjivan, who's offering you 9.5%, nearly 10%, ensure that you put it in lots of 5 lakhs. So in case anything happens, you all through this insurance scheme, right? These are some of the offline under investment schemes which keep appearing on Instagram, on social media. I'm tempting you. And some people, you may not fall into cybercrime, but you can fall into this kind of investment traps and lose money in the long run. So let me move on. Now, frauds involving online and offline modes, right? Offer for loans. Today, you get calls left, right, and center, message approved. You just get a message. Your loan for 1 lakh approved. Because of your what do they say? Your credit score is good enough for us to give you an overdraft of 7 lakhs. And you feel good. Wow, my credit score is good. They wouldn't have even checked what your credit is. But they say your credit score is great. I'm giving you 7 lakhs. And what do they tell you? To apply for this, download an app. So you download an app, you apply, give all details, your Aadhaar, your PAN, everything, give all the details. And you know what they do? They then will tell you, right, pay me 20,000 or 25,000 as the application fee. I'm going to give you 5 lakhs. So you pay 25,000. Some of them, what they do, take the 25,000 and disappear. This is what they do is they take the 25,000, they transfer the 5 lakhs to you, and through the app, after transferring the facts a few minutes, not only they have access to your account, plus there in your account. So this is a scam which is going on big time, right? I was talking to you about this Chinese guys who con people for 82 crores. They did exactly the same thing. They not only took out huge amount of fees, they also selectively gave people who they thought would have more money in the account. They gave them the loan and then took the entire amount out, and the app was disabled. So online, offline also today is, dangerous, and it comes in the form of not investment, but loans. So you might think, hey, loan, I'm getting the money, but you might get something, but what goes out will be that something plus something else. So be very cautious there. Don't just borrow because some loan which is approved. The same technique is also used on the investment side. They tell you download an app, right? Invest, put 1 lakh there, and they'll show you that 1 lakh has become 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs. You will keep getting returns for 1 or 2 months. They'll credit your bank account, and then the app suddenly stops working and they disappear. So this online offline mode also today is catching on. So be a little careful. Now let's go to the last part, online. Right? So when we talk about online fraud, the word which comes to our mind is phishing, wishing. And I was telling someone, hey, phishing, wishing, and finally our money goes missing. So what is phishing? Phishing basically is when you create a fake website with which looks just like the original website, and you send a link saying that complete your KYC. Here is an offer for you, so click the link, or your account is under a danger, click the link to secure your account. And people click that link, and basically the moment you click the link, it takes you to actually a fake account. And when it goes to a fake account, what happens basically is that you put in all your information there, and they take that information and go to the original bank account site, and within a few seconds they take all your money out. So that is what is happening on the phishing side. How do I know that the guy who's doing it is a fraud? And how do I know which is original, right? So when you get these messages, and I think most of you will know this, but I want to again reiterate that when you get a fraud message, you will never get a name. If it's an original message, in this case, you can see it is HDFC BK, the name of the company. It's there. The name of the bank is here from the sender. In a fraud, you will never get a name. But now I notice frauds are also putting names, but names which you would have never heard of. It will be like FINT, FinT, or FinB. So, or just a number. Also, when you look at the link which they ask you to click, if it's an original link, you will have the URL, this is called the URL. You will have the bank's name here. In a fraud link, you will never have any name of the bank there. You will just have some numbers and some figures. So those are some things which you will, which can help you, avoid this kind of fraud. The other type of fraud is basically a wishing fraud, where basically people call you and trick you into giving OTPs, pins, card numbers, citing some emergency because your card is blocked or something, and we are here to help you. And then they very quickly use that to withdraw money from you. So this is something which you I think won't fall for much, but a lot of old people fall for it, because they call basically and say that your pension, and if you want your pension money released, right, you have to give me an OTP and this and that, and they cheat them. So elderly people, I think it's them about these kind of frauds which are happening. Yeah. The next one which we are talking basically about is online platforms, right, where you can get cheated. I'll give you an example. Here is a friend of mine out not a micro oven. It's a new one. She bought it. It wasn't working. Didn't like it, or didn't kind of fit in her house. So she put it on one of these. I think it was OLX. She put it on there saying, "I want of it." Within seconds, she saying, "I'm interested. I'm going to transfer the money to you." So what he does is I think the cost was on 40K. He transferred ₹1, and then he calls her and says, "Did you get the 2,000?" She says, "Yes, I've got the 2,000." Then he said, "Let's just send you an app. I'll just QR code. You just click on it, and you will get the remaining 38,000." So QR code sent. This lady clicks on it, and actually the QR code is a request money option, which means the QR code which that person is sending is requesting you to send him the money. Requesting you to send him the money. So what happens is the money goes out from your account instead of coming into your account. So that is something which is also happening. So whenever you put out anything, any second-hand item or on online for sale, please be very careful, because this QR code, you have to be very careful. Please remember one thing: it is always used to, it is not used to receive. Please remember that. Secondly, about QR codes is that be very careful before you scan a QR code. Just do not scan a QR code because you have to make a quick payment, right? Do it in shops, which are known, which are, you go regularly. Just don't do it anywhere and everywhere. Sometimes you have a lot of these, small shops on a highway or something who say, even for 10 rupees, scan this, do this QR code scan. This could be dangerous. So be very careful when you scan a QR code, and always remember QR code is only for payments, never to receive any money. Right. So this is how basically a scam works. So if you look at the third point, it says this in fact is a collect request. By scanning and entering the PIN, the victim consents to the request of the cyber criminal. So you're consenting to him saying, okay, take 1 lakh from my account. And in most cases, you don't know what he has put in as the amount. So the money just can go out of your account in a few seconds. ATM skimming is something which is difficult for you to catch, but it is something which is happening, especially in rural areas. Especially when I travel, avoid taking money in ATMs which are poorly manned or which is kind of very remote areas, because who knows what is happening there, whether someone is scanning your card and misusing it. SIM swaps. This is something which has happened. It happened to a colleague of mine recently. His SIM number, he moved from one city to another. He went to the company, a very well-known company, and said, hey, my SIM is not working when I moved from the city. Please help me. So they were actually helping, but I think it's an internal job. Someone had leaked the information out. And in the night when he was sleeping, someone had duplicated his card, used all his personal details, gave a request for a duplicate SIM, got that SIM, put it in their phone, and swiped close to about 2.8 lakhs from his account. So don't think that fraud is something which happens in front of you. It can happen even with your SIM card. So be very careful when you're dealing with phone companies. When you have a problem, don't give out too many information, and always ensure that you have ways to try and stop them, because these kind of things can happen behind you. Now you might ask me, how can I stop this? I will tell you in a minute, and then we'll close and then take questions. Right? Impersonation on social media happens so often. I keep getting every second day, some guy says, hey, hello, how are you, Glenn? It's been a long time. And I say, yes, been a long time. And then he says, I'm stuck here, I need 30,000. I said, sure, I'll send it to you. But why don't you send me some money first, then I'll send it to you. And then afterwards that guy disappears. So that keeps happening. It happens hugely on Instagram. So something which we all know, and we should be careful. Please be careful using public Wi-Fi. We always think public Wi-Fi is cheap. We try to switch it on and use it whenever we can. But public Wi-Fi is the famous, very most easy place for hackers to basically cash in on all your data which you have on your phone. So be careful when you use public Wi-Fi. You can use it in government notified places like an airport or a station, but otherwise be careful. If malls are giving you Wi-Fi's or something, be a little careful, because those are all private networks. Right? Fake loan offer I talked to you about. So important to safeguard your Aadhaar card. Never give out your Aadhaar card unnecessarily. Right? Be very careful with any messages which you get. I spoke to you about this earlier. I'm not going to repeat it. These are some example of fake SMSs where they tell you that your credit card is going to be terminated, or your account is going to be locked, or they tell you that your account is at high risk, or they tell you that we want to strengthen the security of your account. So all these are, well, mostly doesn't happen. 99% it's a fraud. So be very careful when you get any messages like this. So very quickly, I just want to tell you, if you have a problem, here are some of the platforms or sites where you can get help from. Voxia, ICRPC, I Am Cheated, Money Life Foundation. All these people will help you, fight for your cases. If you get into, cybercrime and you've lost money and you think you have a case, they will help you. Most people tell you when you have a cybercrime, go file an FIR. But in most cases, by the time you file an FIR, the money is gone and you're not going to get it. Here's something which I want to tell you very importantly. The first thing you do today, if you are a victim of a cybercrime, call 1930. These guys have a network through all the banks in India, and immediately they will block the account who took your money. Very heartening to read about 6 months back in the Hindu newspaper, an 80-year-old man was defrauded 8 lakhs in a cybercrime He called 1930, they blocked the account, traced it to BR, and he got his money back in 2 to 3 days. So the best way is to block that account which takes the money and then get that bank to return it to you. That can be done by 1930. So any problem, call 1930. Then you could call your bank and also lodge a complaint. What we do mostly is call our bank first. Now, these guys are very smart. You will find that most of the cyber crimes which these guys do will be on a second or a fourth Friday afternoon. You know why? Because the banks are closed on Saturday, Sunday. And they will do it at such a time that by the time you go to the bank to complain on a Friday or you call, most of the banks are closed. And the helpline will not be able to help you because they can't contact the local bank. So please be very careful. Sometimes we get helpline and then account, right? So it's important. The money. So if you have two people, one person, another person calls 1930. That's the best thing to do. Or quickly try and block your account yourself online and call 1930. The quicker you call 1930, the better the chances of you getting your money. File an FIR. It's only for records. Why I'm telling you? Because sometimes it's good to file an FIR because let's say after a year, the police catch a scamster who's defrauded about a crore and your name also is there, or they trace that your account was one of the accounts which they took the money from, then an FIR is needed for you to get your money back. The chances of this happening quite remote, but it is not impossible. How do I protect myself against online fraud? There is something very simple, and all of you should do this. Please set limits. See, all of you can go to your online banking and set online transaction limits. So please set a daily limit for your ATM transaction. Please also set a total ATM withdrawal limit per day. So basically you can say per transaction, I don't want to take more than 10,000. For a total day, I don't want to withdraw more than 30,000. Now, you might say if I put 10,000, worth it. It's pain than to lose your money, right? So please put daily limits. Please put transaction limits on your game. Transaction limits are very helpful because once if you put your transaction limit to the small, let's say you put a transaction limit of 10K, the guy has to use OTP 5 times to take out your money. So very, very quickly that something is happening and you can block your account. So please put a transaction limit. Please put a transaction limit for your credit card transactions also. Again, per transaction online, per transaction offline. Put a limit. Disable international use of debit credit cards. You can enable it when you're traveling. Disable it otherwise. Avoid giving auto debit mandates. Today, auto debit mandates, a lot of them love it. Soon as you pay a subscription, they ask you whether I can do an auto debit. Say no. If you know your Netflix is expiring after some time, try and avoid it. To be honest, I have an auto debit on Netflix. I'm trying to find a way to stop it. Can't do it, but that lesson, don't do it anywhere else. All this can be done from your net banking. You don't have to do anything else. Just please put these limits individually for your debit card, ATMs, and you will be safe. Online transactions also. Limits for online transactions, debit card usage, credit card usage, ATM usage, per transaction, per day. You can put these limits. So please put it. And when you want to take some more money, if you need to withdraw more money is there, you can always increase your transaction limit. It takes a few seconds, that's it. Never scan a QR code to receive funds. It's always used to pay. Right, with that, I'm through.